picture this, January 2015, snowy day, downtown St. Paul. My cell phone rings. Hello, Manny, darling. Listen, I'm watching the news, right? And there's a program on, and they're saying, Manny Atwal, attorney in Minnesota, USA, is going to form this de-radicalization program for terrorists. Is that right, love? It was my cousin calling from England, and she just got done watching the BBC. And I'm thinking, I'm a public defender in Minnesota. What? And then I remember that conversation I had about a month ago with one of our judges who said, look, you're representing a lot of these kids that are going off, joining ISIS, joining Al-Shabaab. Do something about it. No problem, right? I'm a public defender. I've got all the money in the world. I can do this. And I started thinking about the kids I've represented. Kamal, who was 21 years old when he left for Somalia, trained in a terrorist organization, picked up an AK-47, and was in battle with the Ethiopians. I thought about Abdullahi. At age 17, was radicalized right here in our backyard. And the day he turned 18, without telling his mom and dad, got on a plane, attempted to get on a plane, to go join ISIS. Now, I think of Abdullahi and Kamal as my kids, because that's how well I've got to know them. And the first thing I had for them was, why did this happen? Like a typical teenage boys, they did the, well, I don't know, man, it was like something to do, right? Like, it's just, sounded cool. It's not cool, right? Because they don't think about the consequences. So I started looking at, how do we welcome our Somali friends? How do we do it? Have we provided them proper housing? Have we provided the kids proper education? A lot of them go to school and they're given a pass-fail grade. And you know what, guys? They don't even know how to speak English all the way. They don't even know who Martin Luther King is. They know nothing about American civics. So I started developing this program along with some folks from Heartland Democracy to say, hey, what can we do to stop this from happening? Then the judge had a brilliant idea, said, go to Europe, they do this all the time. So I packed up my 2 big suitcases full of shoes, and then my carry-on that had a couple of suits in there, and off I went to Europe. And I decided I wanted to meet with folks that had been radicalized as kids to be neo-Nazis. And how were they de-radicalized? I thought that was a good start, right? That was fascinating in itself. Then I went to London and started meeting with people that were returnees, people that actually went to Syria and were in battles, but then they came back because they changed their mind. Now, in Europe, they're not prosecuted like they are here. Because my kid was facing life. We were able to work out a deal where he's now looking at only 15 years. Mind you, he's only 18 years old. And what I realized is what these kids need more than anything is to figure out why they were leaving. And so we looked at all the social issues. We looked at health issues. And what we started doing, and what I learned from the former neo-Nazis, what they needed more than anything was pride. I am proud to be Manny Atwal, Assistant Federal Defender. I am proud to be a woman. I am proud to be a Sikh woman. I'm proud of my British heritage, and I'm proud of my Indian heritage. And when I asked Abdullahi to get up and say that to me, to say to me, I am proud that I'm Abdullahi. I'm proud that I was born in America. I'm proud that I'm Somali. I'm proud that I'm a Muslim. He couldn't do it. So I hooked him up with a mentor. And I went to Roosevelt High School, and there's a teacher there that's one of our first Somali teachers that is teaching in Minnesota. And he meets with Abdullahi at the jail once a week to talk about what it means that you can be an American and can have pride in your own culture, whether that's Indian, whether that's Somali, whatever it might be. And then we started teaching him civics. It's amazing when you teach these kids who Martin Luther King is, who he was and what he stood for and what he meant. I teach Abdullahi about Mahatma Gandhi and how he made changes through peace. And it is an amazing turnaround. I am sure in a little while, we're still working out the program, because again, it's very tough to do. We're working at a program that hopefully we can prevent more and more of these kids to have more pride, and we'll stop these kids from going overseas and fighting. And when they talk about Minnesota, it's no longer going to be homegrown terrorists in our backyard. but more talking about how these kids are changing other kids and making a positive influence here in our backyard and also overseas. Thank you.